Effects. And when you come to the welcome screen, for now I would like you just to close it from over here. We don't need it for now. Actually, I don't use it. So let's close it. If you are on Windows, I would like you to come to Edit and go to Preferences, and in Preferences go to General. If you are on the Mac, you will find After Effects CC. Please click on it and go to Preferences and go to General. You will have the Preference panel open for you, and make sure you are on General. There are two main options that you are interested in. First is the default spatial interpolation to linear. Make sure that this option is checked. Then, if you are on CC 2018 or CC 2019, then please check Center Anchor Point in New Shape Layers. Just make sure it's checked. And that's all you need. We click OK. This is the lower third that you are going to create in this lecture. This lecture is meant for the beginners in After Effects. I just want to encourage you to start creating immediately, to create your animation and add some lower third to your videos. It is not necessary to go through all After Effects and so many details and stories for you to start creating the first animation. It's much better if you dive in, try to create something small that will give you the courage and the satisfaction that you can work in After Effects and create some awesome videos. In the new project, I would like you to set your screen to the default workspace. Don't worry, I will explain everything about the workspaces later on. When the default space is already blue, please come to its menu, click on it, and reset to Save Layout. And if you have libraries here, you can just click on it once and it will close. Let's import some footage like the video and the logo you have seen. To import your footage inside your project, you come to the Project panel, right click and go to Import, and then you have File option here. Shortcut is Ctrl-I. If you select this one, you are taken to your File Manager, and I would like you to navigate to where you have downloaded and unzipped your files from the previous lecture. And here please select the logo for AE and any video you like. I will select a photographer. There are three options here. Make sure they are all unchecked and you click on Import. Now After Effects has imported your footage inside your project. Now to do any work in After Effects, you need to create a new composition. This composition will be like a big container that has all your layers, videos, images, and all your animations. And this is what you will render to create a video at the end and upload it to YouTube if you like. Now you can create a composition from footage. Here we have the photographer, which is our footage. It's 1280 by 720. To create a new comp, you can click on it and drag it and drop it inside the timeline over here. Now notice a new composition has been created in your project and it has the same name as the video, and you can see it in the composition viewer over here. You notice composition photographer, and you have it ready to work in the timeline. The timeline is divided into two. On the left you have all your layers. On the right you have the time. Here you have the time indicator. You can click on it and scrub through to see exactly what's happening within your composition here. You can also press spacebar to play whatever layers you have an animation inside your composition. To stop playing, I prefer to click back on the time indicator. Here you are, it stopped playing. Let's start creating our lower third. And the first thing, we need to create the background, which is just a simple rectangle. To create a rectangle, you come to your shape tool over here on the toolbar, and if you long click, you will have all the shapes you can create here. Select please a rectangle. And come over to the composition viewer, click and drag from the outside just like this and create your rectangle. If you don't like this color, you can come to the fill color and decide what color you would like. For example, I would choose this kind of colors here. I like them, this is nice. You notice that in the timeline also a shape layer 1 has been created for you, and inside there is a rectangle. Let's add the logo now. come to the project panel, click on the logo and drag and drop it inside the composition viewer. Now it's very big, so you need to make it smaller. Go for your selection tool. Come to the corner over here if you like on the right and press shift so it's proportional scaling, and then you drag it down. Okay, that's it. Then you can click on your logo and move it around and place it wherever you want. I'll put it just over here. Now that you have our rectangle and our logo, let's animate them. To animate, you need to use the transforms. If you come to the shape layer, for example, and you have contents and transform, you click on the small arrow here, it will turn down and opens for you all the transforms. You have position, scale, rotation, opacity. They are very easy to animate. In our case here, we want to animate the position. First, let's take care of the timeline. We click and go to 1 second. And what we want is at 1 second, we want this rectangle to be positioned at this position. To initiate the animation, you click on the stopwatch. You have a keyframe that has been created. This keyframe means that at this time, 1 second, position the rectangle at these coordinates. Now click and drag your playhead and take it back to 0. Now at 0, we don't want the rectangle to be here. We want it to be outside the composition. So let's click on it and drag it out. If it's going up and down, press shift and it will go in a straight line. So notice that a new keyframe has been automatically created for you when you change the position. This keyframe means at 0, at this time, put the rectangle on these coordinates. Now you have 2 keyframes, each on a certain time and for a certain position. If you click on the playhead and scrub through, you will notice that After Effects has interpolated or interpreted the animation in between the keyframes. So you put the first keyframe, second keyframe, and here you are, you have the animation. Let's go to the beginning, press spacebar, and you can play it pretty cool. Let's stop, and let's do the same for the AE logo. Let's open now the transform. I twirl down, I go to transform, and I want to animate the position. Let's go to 1 second, and we initiate the position by clicking on the stopwatch, meaning at 1 second, put the logo at these coordinates. Cool. Let's go back to 0, and of course you want it outside. You can just scrub through from here. You click gently, and then you take it out. You notice this is scrubbing, and this is a lot of precision. I like this one very much. And After Effects also has interpolated the animation. Here you are. You notice, guys, it's pretty cool. If you press the space bar, you have a very simple animation. Let's add rotation to the logo. If you go to the next keyframe that's over here, and then keyframe the rotation and set it to 3, meaning it would have rotated 3 times on itself by the time it gets to 1 second. Very easy. Let's click on the playhead, come back to 0, and set it to 0. So actually it's gonna start from 0 rotation, rotate 3 times on itself in 1 second. Let's press the space bar and see what happened. Here you are. Pretty cool. Very nice animation. Now let's add some text. Let's position at 1 second and go for the text tool. The text tool is in your toolbar. If you long click, you will have horizontal and vertical. Let's select horizontal. And you notice that the character panel has popped up for me. If it didn't pop up for you, very easy. Go to window and make sure the character is checked. And then if it's closed like this, you can just click on it once. It will open. And if you cannot see all the options, just scroll it down using the bottom blue line here. You can click and drag up and down. That's it. So now to write, you just click anywhere. I'll click over here and start typing. I will type "Welcome to After Effects." Now go for your selection tool. Now notice you have the text inside the composition viewer, and you have a layer here for the text. You can click on it and drag it and position it anywhere you want. Let's put it over here. Now, if you don't like the text, for example, the font or the color, you can come to the character panel, make sure that your text layer is selected, and change the font, change the size. For example, if you click and drag to the right, it makes it bigger. To the left, it makes it smaller. You can change the color, for example, make it darker or a bit less darker, or make it be white if you like. Here you are. So you adjusted the text and let's position it. Now I will show you a fancy way to reveal the text. Let's scroll down everything. We click on the arrows here so we see only the layers, and let's create a new shape layer. Come to the shape tool over here and select rectangle. Now change the color before you draw it to white. Okay, so we make a difference. And simply draw a rectangle on top of the text. As simple as this. So now we don't see the text, but we are going to create a track mat or a kind of window if you like. To do that, you need to change the options here. Make sure that the second icon is highlighted. You click on it, it will highlight, and you will see mode and track mat here. So make sure both of them now are highlighted. Let's use the track mat. Come to the text layer, click and go to alpha mat. Don't worry, there will be a big section about alpha mat and you will really understand them very well. For now, let's play. You select alpha mat. Now it seems that the shape layer has disappeared. Actually, it did not disappear at all. Let's go for the selection tool and move the shape layer around. I'll click on it and move it around. Notice the text now appears only where the shape layer is. This is the mat itself. If you animate the mat, notice what's happening. It's gonna be a very cool swipe, very nice swipe. I'm gonna undo this, and then we are going to animate the mat. Notice it's invisible, and instead of turning down the transform, just press P. P will bring up the position that we have been using. Of course, to initiate the animation, you click on the stopwatch. So at this time, you want the mat or the rectangle to be over here. Let's go backward. And now we need to move it. I'll just click over here and just drag it outside. Here you are. Now, let's deselect and play our animation. Notice how cool it is, how there is a swipe on the character. But it's not very cool because they are very speedy. Notice the characters are coming. You need to delay this animation of shape layer 2. And the best way to do it is to click on this layer and just click and drag to the inside. So notice now you are delaying the shape layer animation. So it starts just from over here. And it looks cool here. Let's go to the beginning, press spacebar and play. Here you are. Very cool animation, guys. So what do you think? After Effects is very easy to use. It's not difficult at all. In fact, I showed you here how to use track mats, which is very important. So please guys, what I would like from you now is to go over to After Effects, and recreate this animation. Feel free. It's about you feeling very confident in this course that you can create all kinds of animations. Nothing will stop you. Thank you. I will see you in the next lecture.